Did you know that giant pandas can climb almost straight up like rock climbers? Today, we will share with you 10 bizarre facts about panda bears. Some of these facts might shock you, so be prepared. Let's dive right in. Number 10. The strange case of the missing rhombus. Giant pandas have a very peculiar marking on their rear end. It's a roughly circularish area of bare, hairless skin between their legs. Scientists have long been baffled by this strange feature, which is unique to the giant panda among all bear species. But now, researchers believe they may have finally solved the mystery. According to a study published in the Journal of Mammalian Evolution, the missing fur on the panda's behind may have evolved as a way to help the animals stay cool. The theory goes like this: when pandas climbed trees to escape the heat, the breeze would naturally flow over their bare rumps, helping them to cool down. Over time, natural selection favored pandas with larger, more hairless rumps, and so the trait evolved. Now, while this may seem like a simple explanation for a very odd feature, it's important to note that pandas are not the only animals with rump patches. Mandrills, geladas, and even some species of lemurs also sport bare spots. And none of these animals are particularly known for climbing trees or being particularly hairy. So scientists will need to continue studying the phenomenon before they can say for sure what it is and how it evolved. Number 9. The panda's teeth. There is something weird going on with the teeth of the giant panda. These animals have the teeth of carnivores, but they do not eat meat. That's because they've chosen an herbivore lifestyle. This means that there's something wrong with their their teeth aren't really sharp enough to catch and tear up meat, but they're also too smooth for crushing and grinding plants. Their teeth are kind of in between, which just doesn't make sense. Why would they evolve such odd teeth? Pandas still retain some characteristics of their carnivorous ancestors. They have flat molar teeth in the back of their mouths for crushing bones, along with sharp incisors and canines for catching and tearing up flesh. But since they switched to a bamboo diet, their teeth haven't really changed much. Since there's no real reason for them to change, pandas have had issues with their teeth since they switched from meat to plants, and because they don't really use them anymore, their teeth are prone to decay and disease. Number 8. How big is a panda? Pandas are pretty big animals, especially the giant panda. They can reach a height of 4 feet when standing on their hind legs and weigh around 300 pounds. But pandas come in different sizes. For example, the smallest species of panda is the red panda. Standing on 4 legs, they measure just 20 inches tall and weigh about 14 pounds, not exactly the size of a teddy bear. Although these two animals look very similar, they aren't closely related. In fact, the giant panda belongs to the Ursidae family, while the red panda belongs to the Eluridae family. Despite their differences, both animals are known as pandas and are cherished worldwide for their adorableness and playfulness. Number 7. Thumb wars. Did you know that pandas have 6 fingers? Well, technically they have 5 fingers, plus an extra bone that acts as a thumb. While most mammals have 5 digits on each hand, pandas have an extra bone that acts like a thumb. This gives them the ability to grip bamboo stalks and other food while eating. But they're not the only ones. Many animals in the animal kingdom have evolved to have thumbs, including some species of monkeys, lemurs, and, yes, even dinosaurs. Having a thumb gives animals more dexterity, making it easier for them to manipulate objects in their environment. But not all thumbs are created equal. Some are more opposable than others. Opposable thumbs allow animals to grip things more securely, which is why humans have them. Most pandas have 6 toes on each front foot, but some pandas were born with 5 toes instead. Scientists believe that this is due to a genetic mutation. However, 5-toed pandas are extremely rare, and most pandas have the standard 6 toes, and having an extra digit isn't unique to pandas. Some people are born with extra fingers or toes, but those extra digits don't really function like normal limbs, so it's unclear if they give pandas any real advantage. Still, it's a pretty interesting adaptation and definitely makes them stand out from other bears. Number 6. Panda mummies. Even though pandas are beloved by millions of people around the world, these furry creatures were nearly wiped out a few decades ago. Today, fewer than 2,000 giant pandas live in the wild, making them an endangered species. To protect them from extinction, many countries have set up breeding programs where they keep pandas in captivity and breed them in the hopes of increasing their numbers. But these captive pandas are more than twice as heavy as their wild counterparts, weighing on average 330 pounds. In fact, they're the heaviest land mammals in captivity. Researchers aren't exactly sure why they gain so much weight, but they believe it has to do with their diet. Captive pandas are fed a diet of bamboo, fruits, vegetables, and other treats, which is higher in calories than what they would eat in the wild. As a result, they've gotten pretty plump. But there is a downside to being so overweight. Captive pandas are more likely to suffer from health problems such as diabetes and heart disease, and they also have difficulty reproducing. So breeders are working to develop a more balanced diet for these animals in captivity. Number 5. Ancestral origins. We already mentioned that the giant panda has kept many of its carnivorous ancestors' traits. Well, turns out that ancient pandas looked nothing like today's cute and cuddly animals. Instead, they were more like a mix between a dog and a raccoon. In fact, scientists think that giant pandas evolved from a small proto-bear that lived in China about 6 million years ago. Over time, these animals gradually developed traits that made them more like modern pandas, such as a shorter snout and flatter face. But it wasn't until about 2 million years ago that giant pandas started to resemble the animals we know today. One of the key features that sets pandas apart from other bears is their distinctive black and white fur. This unusual coloration is thought to have evolved as a way to help pandas camouflage themselves in their snowy habitat. The black fur helps them blend in with the shadows cast by trees, while the white fur makes them less visible against the snow. Number 4. Bamboo diet. Pandas love to eat bamboo. In fact, they spend up to 14 hours a day looking for and eating this plant. But there's a problem. Bamboo doesn't really contain much nutrition. In fact, it's one of the least nutritious plants on Earth. This means that pandas have to eat huge amounts of bamboo to get the calories they need to survive. And even then, they often don't get all the nutrients they need. As a result, pandas are constantly hungry and spend much of their days looking for more bamboo to eat. This behavior has led to some unusual adaptations in pandas. For example, they have developed a sixth finger on each hand that they use to grip bamboo stalks. They also have a specialized digestive system that allows them to break down cellulose, the tough fiber found in bamboo. But despite these adaptations, pandas are still not very good at digesting bamboo. In fact, only about 17% of the bamboo they eat is actually digested. The rest is either excreted as waste or used to produce methane gas, which pandas release through burping. Number 3. Panda sex. Even though pandas are pretty adorable, there's nothing really sweet about their mating habits. Female pandas will mate with several males in order to increase their chances of getting pregnant, and the males will compete fiercely for the opportunity to mate with a female. Males will often fight over the privilege, and the competition can be so intense that some males have even been killed during mating season. Once a male has successfully mated with a female, he will guard her closely to ensure that she does not mate with another male. This behavior is known as mating guarding, and it is common among many species of mammals, but it's especially intense in pandas. Male pandas will often chase away other males from their territory in order to prevent them from mating with females, and they will even forcibly remove other males from the presence of a female who is in heat. Number 2. When they're born, baby pandas are born blind and deaf, and they cannot walk for the first month of their lives. During this time, they are completely dependent on their mothers for survival. Mother pandas will carry their cubs around in their mouths, and they will nurse them for up to 2 years. But baby pandas are not the only ones who are helpless at birth. Newborn human babies are also born blind and deaf, and they also cannot walk for the first few months of their lives. In fact, human babies are even more helpless than pandas, since they cannot see or hear anything when they are born. But unlike pandas, human babies are born with the ability to suckle, which helps them to get the nutrients they need to survive. Number 1. Panda hibernation. Pandas hibernate in the winter, just like some other bears. They spend the winter months sleeping and conserving energy, and they typically wake up in the spring. But not all pandas hibernate. In fact, most pandas in captivity do not hibernate at all. This is because they are not exposed to the same environmental conditions as wild pandas. Wild pandas live in cold climates, while most captive pandas live in temperate or even tropical climates. Pandas that live in captivity typically do not hibernate, while pandas that live in colder climates are more likely to hibernate. Hibernation is triggered by changes in day length and temperature not by changes in food availability. So even if a panda is given plenty of food, it will still hibernate if the day length and temperature are right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment below with your thoughts, suggestions, or ideas for future videos. We always appreciate your feedback, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.